Since Kaylee and Sarah cannot behave, listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to Nacho Fitness Coach, the podcast where fitness is more about fun than form.
I'm Sarah, the fitness expert who lifts heavy and loves a good challenge.
And I'm Kaylee, a newbie who runs more for survival than sport.
We're here to remind you that fitness doesn't have to be serious.
But we definitely take the snacks seriously.
So if you're looking for some laughs and a few questionable fitness tips,
you've come to the right place. Welcome to Season 5.
So Kaylee, what do you like to listen to when you work out?
I don't know, sometimes a podcast and sometimes music.
Hey, wait, this is a podcast. What if you could have both?
At the same time?
Oh, yeah. Podbeat is a free mobile app that lets you add any beat style to any podcast for your workout. It's easy to do and free to download in the App Store. Kaylee, you sound pretty cool with the trap beat, but Sarah, the funk beat works for your voice.
So if you want to make our podcast work for a workout, check it out in the App Store.
They even have Podbeat for Android users in the Google Play Store. Okay, on to the show. Hey, welcome back to Nacho Fitness Coach. Today we're joined by a special guest, my friend Lindsay Epp. She recently started taking GLP-1 weight loss medication, a topic that's generating a lot of buzz in the health and fitness world. Lindsay's here to share her firsthand experience, the ups and downs of her journey, and how this medication has impacted her life so far. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yay, I'm so excited that you're here.
Yeah. So Lindsay is a personal friend of mine. We met years ago when your oldest and my oldest were babies.
Yeah. Less than a year old.
Yep. We met of through a mom's group. And
those mom's groups.
It's interesting because we were
she
both.
Stuck around.
I know. I won her in the divorce. So it was fun because Lindsay was a brand new mom. Your daughter was a little bit younger than mine, and it was so fun watching you. We were doting over these little babies, and you have actually. This blows my mind. You have since gone on to have 2 sets of boy-girl twins.
Yes.
And I just have to mention this because I said boy-girl twins, so obviously they're not identical to each other.
Right.
But
I still get a lot of questions. Are they identical?
Even though they're boy-girl?
Well, no.
But do you know how identical twins work and how they happen?
Yeah. I try to hide my dumb thing.
Yeah.
Well, no, they're not.
Your idiot lines that I get.
No.
The fascinating thing is that her first set of boy-girl twins and her second set are twins of each other.
Yes.
I mean, not, I guess, in a scientific way, but
they all look alike.
Your
They do.
The older girl twin and the younger girl twin
look like they could be twins.
Like they could be twins, or
they do.
At that age. And then the boys look. I'll have to show you a picture, Sarah. It is insane.
Boys, we'll find pictures from Jacob from the time when he was the same age as Daniel. And
yeah.
I have to look at the time stamp on it because
yeah.
Wow,
it's
they
wild.
Still us. Yeah,
that is. You know what? Genetics are a very weird thing.
It is weird.
It is weird. We were walking in the school the other day, and the teachers kept stopping us and saying, "Oh my gosh, that's a little Jacob." Yep, it is.
It is. Oh, wow.
That's crazy.
It happens in families, but then there are some families where you're like, are you guys sure that you're related?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Because then sometimes it's totally different. And so it is wild how different it can be for everybody. But okay, so then you have a daughter and then 2 sets of twins. So what was the age gap between?
We had 5 kids in 6 years and 3 pregnancies. So Josie was born, then a little less than 2 years later, our first set of twins was born. And then we waited 4 years and we're like, oh, we could have one more. I want a boy or a brother for my little boy. And I went into the doctor and I said, for the ultrasound. And I said, I want to know that there's a heartbeat and that there's just one. And the ultrasound
There was a long
tech,
pause.
Yeah. The ultrasound tech puts the ultrasound machine on and I go, Oh, shit.
Oh no, because you knew.
I was like, she said, well, you already saw it. So,
Well, and I will never forget because my youngest is just a little bit younger than your first set of twins.
Yes.
And so I remember when she was a baby, your twins had kind of been growing out of some baby equipment, all the little... all the things,
newborn things.
And there were some things that I didn't have, and she lent me, one of those, like a bouncer and the Mamaroo and all that stuff. And she said, because she had 2 of everything from the twins. And I'm like, I'm getting done with them. I'm like, what do you want me to do with these? Do you want them back? And she's like, yeah. She said, we want to keep 2 sets of everything just in case, God forbid, like we ever had another set of twins. And I remember thinking like, that is like psychotic,
like you're an
way
idiot.
of thinking. Like why the odds of that happening? And I will never forget the day you texted me and said you were indeed having a second set of twins. I was floored. So it's been so fun watching your journey. I mean, like I said, I met you when you were just a brand new mom of 1 and now you're 5 kids in, and it's been crazy. It's been super fun to watch.
I remember one of the things you said when we first met and you saw Josie, you kept saying, why is she so cute? I don't know. I guess
she was adorable. She looked like a little gnome baby. I don't know.
Yes.
She was so sweet.
A little flat nose.
And you were so cute. You were always like, you always had like her blanket and all of her toys.
That changed after 5 kids. Oh, there's some goldfish on the floor. You want to go eat it?
First one is always different.
Yeah,
than
but
the
that's
other
what's been
ones.
so fun to watch is just kind of everybody sort of has their evolution and becoming a mother. And
Yep.
And here we are.
yeah. And so part of that has been recently you made the decision to get on a prescription GLP-1. Which one are you on?
I'm on generic Mounjaro.
Okay.
It's actually a compounded medication because to try to go through the pharmacy and get it, it was going to be like $1,500 a month. And there's no way.
Yeah.
And insurance won't cover it. So yeah, I'm on the compounded version.
Okay. And when did you start that?
I started it in August.
Okay.
Wait, so, okay, hold on. I'm going to back up the truck a little bit. So this is not something that can be covered by insurance,
It can.
but it depends on your insurance.
Yes, you have to be basically a diabetic in order for it to be covered.
Got it.
Occasionally, some insurance companies will approve it for some people, but
For the most part, they're
the most
at
part, they won't.
$1,500 a month. They're probably like,
no way. Yes. Yep.
Wow, that is wild. I guess I
crazy.
just didn't even think about how much it was costing. Like I just didn't even think about it. But I mean, if it's wow, okay.
Yeah.
So do you want me to tell a little background or?
Yeah, I would like to know kind of like what got you on this line of thinking or, kind of inspired you to make this change in your life.
So my brother was diagnosed in January of 23 with ALS. And after that, I kind of started having some symptoms of some of the things he was. So I started going down this path of seeing all these different doctors and stuff. And I actually saw the neurologist that my brother sees. And funny thing, through him, I found out my A1C was elevated and I was considered pre-diabetic then at that point. So I guess that's kind of what got me started down the path. But I wasn't really given a whole lot of guidance. The doctors are like, you need to lose weight, which I've been told my entire life. You need to lose weight, eat less, exercise more.
Yeah.
And I felt awful. I felt like hell. And so, yeah, I just said, so what do I need to do? And they said, well, basically just watch your carbs. And I don't know. It was just, I don't know. I didn't get a whole lot of
She does
guidance.
need to talk to Justin.
I know.
So we had a guest last week and he just empathized with how often that message gets told to women by medical professionals or just, trainers, coaches, whatever else. And it's just like, that's the blanket. Just
lose weight.
Yeah, lose weight. Just move more, eat less, and cut out the carbs, which, by the way, the carbs aren't bad for, it depends on the carbs and all the things. I'm like, you still need carbs to, like, function. They're your energy and all the things. But it's just, like, that is people's go-to, like, quote-unquote advice. And it is hard.
Yep.
Like, because it's like, that's not it.
Yeah.
That's not it.
And like for my entire life, it's been, you need to lose weight. I mean, even when I was a kid, I remember in 5th grade, the doctors telling me you need to drink a full glass of water before you eat a meal so that you don't eat so much.
Yeah.
And do you know what that does to a kid?
Yeah.
I mean,
You're 10.
Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
11, yeah.
Yeah. And girls are already, well, kids probably boys and girls, are already so self-conscious about themselves. And then to me, I take that in as I am doing this all wrong. It's all my fault. And
just so damaging.
It's
and
not
it
all my
sticks
fault.
with you forever.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that followed you into adulthood, and then you're still hearing doctors say like, oh, you need to eat less,
lose
you
weight.
need to exercise. And that does not come without some shame, some guilt. And
then social media,
and that's not helpful.
No, it's not. And you see people all over, oh my gosh, well, they just need to quit going to McDonald's. And, you know, it's...
Yeah, and you're like, I'm not.
Well, I might have been. But I was not being healthy.
Yeah.
So anyway, I guess my A1C was elevated, and I have a cousin who has juvenile diabetes type 1 and a couple other family members who have had it, and I'm an RN. I was an RN, am an RN, whatever. And that's not something I wanted to do. So I decided then and there I was going to limit carbs, cut out sugar, and see what happened. Yeah. And I had done the South Beach diet way back in college and had lost 30 pounds and then kind of stalled out, and I quit, gave up, and gained 60, you know, like boom. And then, you know, I got married and I had kids, and from my lowest point in college to highest point, I gained 100 pounds back. So anyway, I don't know where I was going, but I was termed pre-diabetic. So I did that. I stalled out at about 35 pounds, and I was at 35 pounds. I didn't give up this time, which was good, but probably for like 3 months or so. And then I went in and talked to my OBGYN, and he said, have you ever heard of these GLP-1 medications? And I said, yes. Yeah. And they've even tried to get it prescribed for me and approved through insurance, and I can't afford that. And he said, well, there's this, can I name something? It's called the Med Spa through Hastings. And he said they compound these medications and it would cost generally between $250 and $350 a month. And I thought, well, we might be able to make that work. He said it's worth at least going down and talking to him. Yeah. And so I went down there and I had an appointment, and they wanted a whole bunch of lab work done, which I had done through all my multiple appointments. And so, from there, they kind of explained it all. And I talked to my husband. Yeah. And I decided, sadly, I got rid of my cleaning lady.
Oh, no.
But to help pay for this. And hopefully someday I can get her back.
Might be a good trade-off. Yeah. Did you have, what were your initial thoughts or reservations about getting on it?
For probably 6 to 12 months before that, I had actually joined a group on Facebook. It's called a Manjaro, support group or something like that, because I was interested in what this was. And I had seen some of the side effects some people had, like constipation and nausea, and some people had off the wall crazy side effects. Yeah. But most people were just having success, and the ones who were actually changing their lives, not just taking the medicine, were actually seeing a huge amount of success with it. And so I guess I was a little nervous about side effects. Yeah. More than anything, probably nervous that it wasn't going to work. Yeah. Because, after your whole life trying, and then you're going to take this medicine and it's not going to work.
Yeah. This thing that's working for so many other people doesn't work for you.
And you're putting so much money into this. For sure. It's like, I really want this to work. Yeah. So.
And with that, I think it's maybe time for a quick little break. Be sure to check out our website at nachofitnesscoach.com, where you can purchase merch and listen to all previous episodes. Okay, so we're back.
I guess that was the main concern.
And then, so how did you feel during your, the first couple weeks on it? Like, just as far as you feel a certain way for so long, you felt this way for so many years. What changes?
Right away?
Yeah.
So that next day, I had given my medication in that clinic, and they were so good to, I think sometimes if you go to a doctor's appointment, they're going to say, well, start taking this medication and come see me in so many weeks. And this place was so good to explain how it works, what it does to your body, the progression of it, how long you're going to be on each dose. And I don't know, they were just really good at explaining everything. So I kind of, I guess, had an idea of what was going to go on. But that first night, it was really funny. I went to bed and I woke up the next morning, and my back, it was like it was bruised. Oh. You know, sometimes if you've laid on something really hard, how your skin just feels bruised. Yeah. And I thought, that is weird. I don't remember, doing anything. But But then all throughout the day, I just kept complaining about it. And my husband, Jeff, he's like, well, do you think that could be from that medicine? I was like, no, that'd be really weird. Well, apparently it is. I went on that support group and typed in like bruised feeling or something. And so many people said after their first shot, they had that. And then after that, nothing. So then after that, like right away, I started noticing, they call it the food noise, went away. And it's like your entire life, I'm constantly thinking, what am I going to eat next? You wake up thinking, what am I going to eat? How am I going to,
Yeah.
And
it went away.
That's crazy. Because that's like a neurological like, thing that it's not just like appetite suppressant. It's like somehow it managed to get into your
brain.
Yeah.
And it's amazing because it is, I think, like an addiction. Food can be an addiction.
Yep, absolutely.
And they've talked about, I don't know how in depth, but I've read that they want to use this on addicts someday. Yeah, which totally makes sense because to be able to get rid of the noise in your head that says you need this. And like even when you weren't thinking about what you're going to eat, if you're going to eat, well, I can't eat that much because people are going to think, why is she eating so much? If she just eat less, it's just a constant thought process in your head.
And that's been inside voices for your whole life.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. Definitely. You go sit down to eat and you're like, well, what are they thinking about what I'm eating? Are they judging how much I'm eating, what I'm eating? And it's just a whole circle jerk, I guess.
For sure.
Wow.
But it calmed that all down.
That's amazing.
And it's still gone.
Yeah, it is.
So all of those voices are just that you haven't had them since you started.
Some of occasionally I would really love to go have peanut M&Ms or something, but for the most part, I don't think about it all the time. And a lot of times I'll find myself, I don't think I've eaten anything today. Yeah. I'm not hungry and I'm not thinking about it. And I feel better. So I'm staying busy doing a lot of other stuff like housework and stuff. And so, it's
because you lost your cleaning lady.
I know. So I'm always dusting and mopping and sweeping.
Well, it's increasing that general activity, right?
Exactly.
Like we're moving.
That's what one of my friends said. It's not going to be all bad because you're going to be able to be working more. And,
and then as far as side effects now that you've been on it for a while, can you talk about some of those?
I guess another side effect right away is overeating was always a problem for me. Once I started, I couldn't stop. I just want to keep eating because it tastes so good. And right away you find if you eat too much, you're going to be sick.
Really?
And
like actually do you vomit?
I haven't yet. I know a lot of people do. I don't have a very bad vomit reflex or whatever they call that. But I think a lot of people do throw up. But definitely feel like I could. Like when you're pregnant in that first trimester and like, the thought of food and the sight of food and the smell of food. So it does that a lot to me, which isn't bad because
it helps.
I don't want to eat it.
Yep. That's crazy too, though, that it has that like physiological effect that you're like not like physically. It's almost now also then telling you, hey, your stomach's full.
You really don't need this.
Because if it gets too full, then that's when it's probably getting people to the point where they're like vomiting. Yeah. Because they're like pushed over that edge.
Yeah.
And if you eat too many, like I don't hardly eat sugar at all. I had one piece of pumpkin pie over Thanksgiving. And other than that, I mean, I hardly ever eat sugar.
Yeah. Did you before?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Like before the shot, you mean?
Yeah.
And before, before this year, I would eat whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, however much I wanted.
Yeah. Sure.
Because it felt good. And why not? I deserve this because I work so hard as a mom. And
2 sets of twins.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I have 5 kids. I can eat whatever I want.
Yeah.
But now I know it wasn't helping me or doing anything for me.
Sure.
Yeah. So how has just kind of your day-to-day life with 5 kids a year ago versus now? What does the difference look like, if any?
I don't know. I feel like I can do a lot more and I'm probably a lot more happy, I guess, than, I'm still an overwhelmed, stressed out mom of 5 kids that are constantly needing stuff.
I don't think any medication can fix that.
Mom,
I need juice. Mom, where's my milk? I need chocolate.
Mom. You wait in line. There's 4 of you. There's 1 of me.
Yes. Just this afternoon, everyone needed something.
Oh, yeah.
Mom, I need help with homework. Mom, will you come help me with this? It's a lot, but I feel better. So I guess I'm able to get out and do more with them.
Participate a little bit more in what they're doing, especially with little kids. I mean, they're constantly on the go.
Mm-hmm. Yes. It constantly needs
I'm sure that's a lot easier now.
Yeah. Yes.
That's awesome. Your relationship with food. I know we've talked a little bit about you're not eating the sugar. Do you feel like you have a better sense now of like the foods that you should be eating to just like fuel your body?
Yes. And I think through the South Beach diet, I really did learn a lot of beneficial, healthy stuff. I think sometimes maybe that's a little more extreme than what I wanted to be, and through nursing, I've learned a lot of it too. And when I was pregnant with this last set of twins, it was a whole problem. But anyway, I ended up in the hospital. I ended up with...
you were on bed rest, weren't you, for a long time?
I had premature rupture of membranes at like 22 weeks. Baby girl lost her fluid. And so that was terrifying. That's then ended up in the hospital. I think I kept him in for, till 29 weeks.
Yeah.
So, but then I ended up with gestational diabetes. So through that, I learned more too. But I knew what I should eat. I always knew what I should eat.
Yeah.
But didn't care, didn't want to, whatever. So
I know that.
Yeah. And I don't know, I guess through the past year, I've just kind of trained my brain to, I do a lot of meats. I try to do a lot of veggies. I don't do as much as I should, but
same.
Fruits, nuts, string cheese, protein shakes, the ones that taste like not good, apparently.
Yeah, when I asked her to come on the podcast, Lindsay texted me. She was listening to some episodes. And I think our intro in season 1, we were talking about how you have 12 open tubs of so here's the funny part, and you don't know this, is that she texted me and she said, how does a person end up with 12 tubs of protein? And what did I send you?
A picture of your pantry or a video of your pantry.
How many tubs of protein was that?
I have no idea. Like it was stacks
12.
and stacks.
Are you serious?
Was it 12?
It was exactly 12.
I was like, oh my. So are like the different flavors?
It happens fast, yeah.
Yeah, they're because we do chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry, but we kind of ended up getting sort of a backlog because we were having them come on Amazon subscription. Oh, and then Jeremy kind of got off of it with carnivore, and currently neither of us are drinking them. So
and my husband has different preferences than I do. You know, he wants his to have the grass fed, whey isolate, and I'm like, I'm not quite that granola about it, so I'm like, I'll just do the straight whey isolate. It doesn't have to be from grass fed cows. And, then we do have a blend whey because I have a specific flavor that I like for my oats that they stopped making in like the whey isolate. So I had to have a classic kind of protein blend. So it's a whole situation.
Sarah's a whole situation.
It's I don't know the difference. It just says protein. So 30 grams of protein looks good.
Well, yeah.
No, 1 gram of carbs.
As Lindsay said, she gets the already prepared, like the Premier protein shakes. Yeah, and I said Premier protein tastes like butthole.
Yeah.
It's chalky.
I personally have never tasted butthole.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know what it tastes like.
Well, then you would have nothing to...
Yeah. Lindsay for the win. Kaylee 0, Lindsay 1.
Listen, I've lived a full life, okay? Noted. No, I just remember when we first started getting into protein, like that was the first one we bought. It was like Premier.
Yeah, it's commonly
like,
available.
And I was like, how do people do this? But if you experiment, but I've never done the like already prepared, like the.
It's actually pretty good. Yeah. Just the little cartons with the.
Yeah. Now, the powders taste like butthole.
Yeah.
I've never tried powder or that.
Sarah snorts from time to time.
I think it's the first one this season, but that's really funny.
All right, ladies, let's reel it in.
Be serious.
Okay. On a serious note. Hold on. Sarah sometimes needs a minute.
So we're laughing about Kaylee.
Alan came in to see what we're laughing about. We're laughing about buttholes.
Go figure. It's the fact that you're talking about buttholes.
Right.
Katie said it tasted like a butthole.
You bring me into a podcast and we talk about buttholes.
Welcome to
Thanks.
I have no control.
All right.
Because Kaylee doesn't have a filter before things come out of her mouth.
No, the things I want, the important, smart sounding things, like I was saying last night.
So what was the unimportant thing?
The important, smart sounding things that are in my head, just like it's like a block, and they can't come out of my mouth. But then, like the things that I just shouldn't say,
Totally come straight
there's
through.
just bleh.
There's no problem with
Yeah,
it just
they
coming
just-
on out.
So you
So-
should have just said it tastes like anus.
But she doubled down and came on it twice.
Okay, let's move on. Are you crying?
Oh my gosh.
All right, me and you push your mic away. Me and Lindsay are gonna move on.
Hot. Like, why is it so hot here?
I didn't know this was gonna happen. Lindsay,
You brought it up.
Lindsay, I have a question.
Yes.
Yeah, you know exactly what would happen. You told us. All right.
I don't feel like I can realistically move on right now. I need you to
Just transition. Turn my mic off.
Lindsay,
Yes.
welcome back.
And with that, I think it's maybe time for a quick little break. Find our Nacho Fitness Coach page on Facebook with username Nacho Fit Coach, where you can like, follow, and share our content. Okay, so we're back.
What has been the most challenging part of your journey on this weight loss drug so far?
Probably like the first day or two, I feel a little bit like sick-ish, I guess. Just really run down, really tired. It's really hard to do anything. I'm really, tired. I guess kind of like the first semester of pregnancy again.
So it's like each time you get the injection?
yes,
this
so I give it
happens
once
all
a week.
over again.
Yep. So
Okay.
like 12-ish hours later,
Okay.
for probably 24 to 48 hours, I just kind of feel like, ugh, and
That's every week.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
But then it gets better, and then you give yourself a shot again, and
Yeah.
so I guess that's probably been about the hardest
Okay.
part.
Yeah, it would be hard.
Yeah.
Feeling sick 2-3 days out of 7. Yeah.
For sure. Do you, I know that, like I said, GLP-1s they're a big topic right now. And I think everybody's kind of out there trying to form, especially in the fitness industry, trying to figure out their stance or their opinion on these weight loss drugs. Do you feel like you face any judgment or like misconceptions from people?
I think I personally haven't, because people aren't just going to come up and say
Yeah.
a lot of these things to your face. But I think there is a lot of judgment from people. You're taking the easy way out, or, why don't you just put less food in your mouth? That's what
Yeah.
you're going to do. And in the end, yes, it is, but it's a nice tool, I guess. It's not a cure-all for everything.
Sure.
You still have to put in a lot of hard work, and you can't just go out and eat whatever you want and expect it to work.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. And
I
it's
know-
not like you just woke up, got the drug and woke up the next day and
I had lost weight. No, I know there are a lot of people who think, oh, well, you're taking the medication from the diabetics that need it. And
that was a big thing for a little while. I feel like that's quieted down a little bit
I
as
haven't
it's
heard it
become
so
more
much.
accessible. But I remember back when, and I remember it was just Ozempic for a while. And that was the big thing, was like, these are diabetic drugs, and people who are using it for weight loss are taking this out of
their hands.
Yeah.
Yep. And that, like, I am doing it through a compound pharmacy. So anyone who's a diabetic can get it through the pharmacy.
Right.
So I guess
Well, and I think for a lot of people, if they don't do this, they're going to end up being a diabetic as well.
Yes. And
So
don't get me started on this, but I'm going to start on it.
go ahead.
Insurance companies.
Yeah.
They would rather pay for the problems than preventing the problems.
Absolutely.
And that's so infuriating.
Yep.
And it's that way with everything.
I agree. Has this being on this GLP-1 impacted your self-esteem, confidence? Do you just feel
Oh, yeah.
you feel better about yourself?
Yes, I do. And my dad even noticed the other day, or the other week, I went to Florida to visit my friend. And
I was so happy for you.
I know, it was so much fun. And never in a million years would you have ever caught me dead in a swimsuit.
Yeah.
Someone taking my picture. And I felt good. She took my picture and I saw it. And I was like,
yeah,
wow, I don't look too bad.
I just saw you in the hallway. I don't know the last time I saw you, but so just to clarify, Lindsay and I, since our baby, you know, they were babies, now they're grown up, we're more like group chat friends now. So we don't actually see each other in person.
A whole lot.
I don't even think I've met your second set of twins.
You want to know what Jacob said to me tonight?
What?
Well, I was trying to figure out what to wear. And Jacob's like, Dad, why is she even going in public? What is she even doing in public?
She doesn't leave the house or do anything else.
Like, something's wrong with her. So yeah, I don't get out a whole lot.
That's funny.
But sorry, I interrupted you.
No, you have just been in the throes of like deep motherhood for a long time, and
it's all of our stages of life, I feel like, right now.
Yeah. So yeah, when you told me a few weeks back that you were going to Florida to see your friend, I was like, yes.
Get it, girl. Yes.
And it looked like you had so much fun. So that's
from
awesome.
my husband and my mom and my mother-in-law, and they got it all done.
Yeah. But so to see you in the hallway tonight, because like I said, I haven't seen you, and you look like I see it.
Well, good.
You know, like you look amazing.
Well,
so
thank
that's
you.
Awesome. Oh, where are we at? Are we coming up on? Okay. Do you have any advice for other people that are maybe considering entering this situation?
I would say don't be scared of it. I know it is kind of scary, but another thing that really helped me is I had already changed my diet, changed my lifestyle. Not so much the fitness stuff, because I still need to do
But you're
that,
busy with taking the kids and all the things all around. And
yes.
It's fine. I wrote her a workout plan, Sarah.
Yeah.
Good job.
It's still sitting there.
I'm a coach.
You are. That's what happens. You do your own transformation and just poof.
She's a
All
coach.
of a sudden, she's a coach.
It was a simple one.
It's a simple one. It's good. Just get moving. Movement is medicine.
That's really, honestly,
Yeah.
in all seriousness, that's what it is just get moving, you know?
But I would say probably more than anything is don't just expect it to be magic.
Yeah.
And be ready to change your lifestyle, I guess, if you actually want it to work, because eventually you want to get off the medication. And
Well, yeah, and I'm curious to see what is going to happen to the people who, you know, got on it to drop 10, 15 pounds.
Yeah.
Because there are people that are doing that and not making any lifestyle changes. So it's just like, what's your end goal? Like, what are you can't stay on this forever. Like, what are you going to do when you get off this? You're going to gain that weight right back.
right.
That's
If you don't change your life.
That's any
then-
diet,
Yes.
you know?
Yeah, just like I did with South Beach. I mean, if I went
Get
right
off
back
of
to where
it.
I was,
Yeah.
and boom.
Yep. And then it's over.
Mm-hmm.
When do they know, like, when there comes a day where maybe you're choosing not to take it anymore, like, and you go back to or you go to relying on all the lifestyle changes you've made, do they think that, like, the voices, like the noises will come back, the food noise will come back? Has anyone?
That I don't know, but I would assume to a certain extent
You
it
know what I
probably
mean?
will.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think by then you'll have had time to start building so
Just the
many more
confidence
healthy
to control
habits.
it maybe
and
more?
maybe.
That's what I'm curious about.
And the
Yeah.
thought of going back to how I was before is more scary to me than
managing those inner voices.
Yes.
Yeah. So do you have a goal of how long you're going to do this? Is it going to be a certain weight or is it just a time
Well,
period?
So I went to see an endocrinologist in Lincoln.
Okay.
And through that, they did this body scan, I guess, where they check your muscle and your fat and your bone
Density.
something.
DEXA
Yeah,
scan?
maybe. And so from that, they basically, they didn't say BMIs are a bunch of baloney, but they kind of said BMIs are not the best tool. And so from that, they said, you're like, probably my ideal BMI body weight would probably be like 120 because I'm 5'3". That's ridiculous. I will never be 120. But she said, your ideal body weight would be between 150 and 175 based on your muscle and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'd love to get down to 150, which would be like never in a million years would I have ever said how much I used to weigh. But that would be half of what I weighed before.
Okay.
So I mean, to be half the person that I was is an unreal thought. So right now I was going to weigh this morning and I forgot, but I was at 78. So I bet about 2 pounds a week. So probably about 80 pounds. So I'm over halfway there.
That's
so
awesome.
Wow.
got a ways to go, but
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, that's huge. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. I told
probably...
the doctor, if I keep doing about 2 pounds a week, I have less than a pregnancy's time worth to get to my goal. So
yeah,
that's
awesome. Not so bad.
No, not at all. It'll be here before you know it. I mean,
know.
really, and then it's how do you maintain and keep it, there but
yeah,
it's awesome.
I'm excited for you just because I know as a mom, I know what it means to, because I've just kind of recently learned I was just living in like this dark cloud of like not participating in my kid's life, kind of going through the motions. And so when you start getting more fit or more healthy, you are able to participate in a more meaningful way, which is all we really want as moms.
Yeah, exactly.
You get this one chance, they're growing so fast. So
and I think you hit a point where your kids are a certain age, and my time with my oldest is half over at home, so
I know
you want to start being more present, I guess.
Yep.
And so this is really, you're doing this for you, but you're doing it for your kids.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Everybody.
Love it.
Have you had positive support from the people in your lives through this whole journey?
Oh, yeah. I've got a really great support system. I have wonderful parents, my brother, my sister-in-law, my brother-in-law, and everybody, my mother-in-law, my husband.
Yeah.
Probably should mention him. Shout out. Yeah. And every week my mom checks in, what have you lost? Not like,
not in like
a Snoopy,
Yep.
But they are always very good to tell me how proud they are of me. And Jeff, you're looking good, dear. And
good,
so it just all.
And that helps a lot.
It does. Yes.
Yeah. I wish I had a mom.
I know. I wish you did too. I've told you can share mine.
There we go, Kayla. We just need to find you an adoptive mother.
Yes.
That will send you those messages and tell you're doing such a great job.
You're doing so good.
I kid. I only made the joke because Lindsay knows.
Oh, yes.
Why
Yes.
Okay. So, Sarah, do you have any questions?
No, I mean, I guess for me, that's fascinating. Just the food noise thing, because, it does just, people will talk about it, and we've talked about it in other podcasts. We've alluded to it, but, overeating, obesity, it is very complex. The things that you're barked at for years make you feel like somehow you're in control of it. And what they're not considering is that some people are just wired with those thoughts.
There is something happening mentally.
You don't even remember ever when those thoughts started. You just remember always having them.
Always.
And so, when you're that child that is having those thoughts, I mean, you think that everyone else is having those same thoughts too.
Yeah.
Right. And then you're like, well, how are they doing it, but I can't, or whatever. And that's that constant comparison. And then you get people telling you, then you're just doubling down on things that should be super simple.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, the fact that it found a way to like calm those voices is wild to me. Like, I mean, I have not spent a significant amount of time diving into the details of like the side effects or what people are experiencing with them, wherever you just see the buzz and it's going around and all things. But I have known enough from listening to different people speak and presentations and like continuing education things where I know obesity is a very complex issue.
Right.
And I know when we talk about nutrition that it also it's very personal and there's a lot of emotions tied to the food choices for a variety of different reasons. And so, I mean, that's the most wow factor to me, is just knowing that was able to do that.
Yeah.
Like, that's wild. Crazy. Like, those are the things where I'm like, see, modern medicine can have its good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Modern medicine can be abused and overused and like have its bad too, but that's really about anything.
Well, and I think that's what's really interesting about this kind of where we're at culturally with this weight loss medication is just, and you even mentioned how there's talks of like using it for, addicts.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like
crazy.
It is crazy because before now, you have your fad diets, you have your, even your surgery.
Yep. The sleeves,
bariatric surgery, but it's just like, I've been really curious. And when Lindsay said that she was getting on it, I'm like, I wanted to talk to you about it because I think it's going to become a normal part of life for a lot of people. And if we can see the obesity rates in the United States go down, is that really such a bad thing?
I know.
Yeah.
I think it's maybe time for a little quick ad break. Hey, it's Sarah, and my book, Healthy Habits Challenge 10 Weekly Habits for Better Health, is now available via hardcover on Amazon. Just go to Amazon.com and search Healthy Habits Challenge. All right, we're back.
Yeah, but it takes work. You know, you already said that it's not just like a
it's not a
you
magic
still
pill.
have to be willing to.
But
be
is this the tool? Is this the, and I hate
could
to
be a
use this
tool,
word, but
for
like
sure.
not
Absolutely.
the magic pill, but just as far as
A tool.
like getting over that hump of like
For sure.
tackling obesity.
Yep.
And sometimes
is
that's
this
all
it?
you need.
Are we there?
It's just that one little missing piece, and like everything then can like fall in line.
Is that what you envision for yourself? Is that you can get off of these drugs and
Yes.
and maintain what you accomplish?
Yes, that is my goal, you know. And I keep thinking of these things that I want to say, but
and you know what? Tomorrow you're gonna wake up and you're gonna.
I should have said that.
You're gonna think of 50 things you should have said. I promise.
But like I like you talking about modern medicine. I don't know what the right way is to approach people who are overweight or obese, but the way they're doing it now, I don't think is the right way. You know, like, well, you have to lose weight, and especially to all these little kids. I mean, they're
For sure.
My 9-year-old daughter is thin. I mean, she's got, you know, what is probably considered the perfect body, but she's like, Mom, I'm fat. And I hate that for little kids. I mean,
we just talked about this with our last guest. We talked about, you know, it's not only are we trying to navigate a world where we're trying to feel okay with ourselves and be comfortable with ourselves, but we also have these little girls.
mm-hmm. Yep.
Like, me personally, I'm like, oh shit. Like, I don't know the right, you know, I'm trying my best, but I'm like, girl, I'm still trying to figure it out for myself. And I try really hard not to be like, oh, I look fat, or oh, I hate this about myself. And
that self-talk and just anything you might feel, you just got to keep it to yourself. That's
one
listening.
thing I have always tried from day one is I never want how I feel about myself to be
how they feel,
influence how they feel about themselves. So I've never said anything about, oh, I'm fat, or oh, I need to not eat this. I've been very, very careful to never say that because it is damaging.
It is.
You know, I know that. And, you know, I can't protect them from everybody else because everybody else in the world says it too.
Mm-hmm.
But I know, and you know, I have a strong faith. So I always tell them, this is how God made you. And you're perfect. And you just have to be healthy and take care of your body and treat it the best you can. And I know, I hope that I,
I know that
we're
I
all
do it
just
right
hoping
because we're doing our best. I mean, So very cool. I think, unless you have anything else, Sarah or Lindsay, if there's anything you want to add, you'll think about it tomorrow. You'll think about it tomorrow.
Well, I mean, we would love to have you on again in another part in your journey and just have you kind of share because, you know, it is going to be exactly that. It's a journey.
Yes.
And even when you get to the end where you've always pictured your destination to be,
it might change.
It will totally change and you'll have new goals or dreams or, you know, at least even get to the point where you're content with maintenance for a while, you know, and just live in that happiness. But, you know, there will be, this is like a blip.
Yeah. Yep. And when you're facing having to lose 150 pounds, it's like, there's no way. And this is going to take the rest of my life. And, but then you look back, what will probably be 2 years later, and it's like, that was nothing to feel better. And, then the next thing will be, you know, skin removal. You know, that would be something I would love someday to have. But insurance, you know, once again, it's all a money game. So.
Well, and I look back on who I was, you know, 2.5, 3 years ago, and I look back on pictures, and I didn't like how I looked for sure, but. You know, instead of looking back on those pictures now and saying like, I was so ugly, I was, you know, so fat, whatever. I look back and I'm like, good for her because she's the one who made the decision.
Right.
You know, like she made this happen. Oh yeah. Like good for her. And she started, you know, I'm not there anymore, but that was a lot harder for her to do than it would be for me today. She didn't know what I know now.
Yes.
So
it's very brave.
It's a brave thing to do.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I'd love someday to be able to, I don't know, mentor or somehow help people through.
You should start a podcast.
Oh, good Lord. Do you know how nervous I've been for like weeks?
I know you have.
You're doing such a great job.
I kept telling Sarah, I'm like, she's not going to show up. She's not going to come. She's going to cancel.
And you also have like a really great microphone voice.
Yeah, you've done a great job.
Yeah, I mean, there are some people that I joke with Dane where, especially females, like when they get excited, their voice will get really super high pitched and they get, oh, and I'm like, there should be a rule that most women should not have a microphone when they're excited because it just is.
Do I do that?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, so you're good. Lindsay's great, and I'm just like,
Thank
yeah,
you.
I like the voice, so it's very sultry. So it comes across really well. So
Well, thank you.
you could be a good host. Or just come back on and be as a guest. At some point.
I can do that.
You know, yeah. So I feel like everyone's story and journey is different. And you're right about like looking at old pictures or, I mean, I give a ton of credit to my mom. Like there were just some things that I feel like she recognized about her childhood, her life, that she made a conscious effort to do things differently. And I had the opportunity to benefit from that. So I'm like, okay, if there's even just anything I feel like I can do that can help influence the next generation, my kids, you know, just for them to have. I mean, we joke. I was like, I mean, other than probably some small insecurities, I mean, there's, I have confidence.
You do?
In what? My soapboxes and everything, you know, but I'm also like, I have also sat in rooms with women at like different fitness summits or women conventions, women empowerment things. And like, I've heard speakers do presentations about like self-esteem, self-worth, self-confidence. And I remember being like, that was really great. And then I turned around and looked, and 3/4 of the women were like up out of their seats, clapping and crying. And I was like, okay, there's clearly something that they heard that I didn't, but that just it gave me a ratio of people where I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, I felt like that was a good presentation that clearly hit some people at the core, you know? And so I was like, what happened in my life versus stories? And then I've heard with like personal training clients where they will talk about things about their childhood. I'm like, wow, I benefited. My mom, I never saw her weigh a scale. I never saw her say she went on a diet. I never.
Yeah.
And I'm like, was that it? I don't know. But I'm like, I mean, probably had to be something.
I mean, you look into, I know we're going a little off topic here, but when you look into what they call cycle breakers.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I've learned a lot about that because I did grow up with a mom who, you know.
You had a mom?
Wait, what did you say?
I thought you did.
Once upon a time.
I thought you didn't have a mom.
Once upon a time, the woman who raised me. But we like weight was discussed at my household and not in a positive way. And it was, you know, there were 3 of us girls and it was, you know, there were weight loss drugs. There was eat less of this, you know, and she struggled with being overweight as well when we were little. And she didn't like herself. And
you pick up on that as a kid.
And the way that, and I've told you this, the way that you are spoken to as a child is the way that you talk to yourself. So, you know, I thought like, wow, when I have kids, especially if I have girls, you know, I'm going to do everything different. And that sounds like a very easy thing to do, much easier said than done, because you are who you are. The voices that are in your head,
and
that's what's out in there.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I say stuff all the time and I'm like, oh, you know, no,
knock it off.
It's being a cycle breaker is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. And the sadness in that is that I don't get to benefit from it in the sense of like you do from your mom being a cycle breaker.
Right.
You know, you get to benefit from it. I have to go through a lot, you know, and not to like victimize myself, but I think I just thought like, oh, I'll break the cycle and it'll be great for me. But
it's great.
It's hard. And I hope it's great for my kids.
The great part for you though is being able to see your kids
for sure. Yep. And that's the payoff. And that's, you know, that's generational cycles and that's how that works. It took me a long time to realize like, why am I struggling? Why am I suffering with this? It's like, oh, it's not for me.
Right.
You know, so that my kids don't have to go through this.
Yeah.
That's one thing I've really struggled with on this medication too, because I have never talked about weight. I've never talked, you know, I've made sure to tell kids you don't call other kids fat because all my kids are thin. They're, you know, I don't know where they came from. But
they're farm kids.
I guess they get out and run or something. I don't know. That's just, we don't talk about weight and we don't talk about, we don't comment on other people's bodies or differences or imperfections. And so that's been something I've really struggled with, is trying to explain to my kids why you're making this change.
Why you're changing.
I've tried to relay it all back to, or I don't know what I mean to say, but be sure and emphasize the health part of it.
For
not
sure.
the, I want to get skinny or,
Yeah.
you know, I want to look better. It's all, I want to be healthy so I can feel better and do more things.
And I think that's spot on.
Yep.
I think that's what you should be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To have the energy, because it does. I mean, you have more energy as you know, are able to go through this journey. And like, I just want to be able to run with you and keep up.
Yep. Or mop the floors or.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Not get out of breath. Because I'd be out of breath from vacuuming.
And walking up the stairs. Like I can walk up the stairs now and I'm like, I'm not huffing and puffing.
Yeah,
and
that's awesome.
It's really kind of nice.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that I'm in shape by any means, but
you know,
but those, I mean, those
the meter.
lifestyle,
As Sarah would say, you're moving the meter. We love it.
my daughter weighs 81 pounds. She'd kill me if I told anyone that she weighed 81 pounds. But so I'm at 80 pounds and like put her on my back and carry her around I'm exhausted.
Sure.
You know, after no time. So
and you're like, I used to have that around all of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. And to think that much more could come off. It's unreal to even think about. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited to be a part of the journey now. I see it. It's awesome.
I'll have to post before and after pictures. Because sometimes living in the body that you're in, you know, it's so slow coming off that you don't, I notice it. Like I notice parts of me are thinner and stuff. And my clothes are fitting way different and stuff. I'm in smaller sizes, but you still think of yourself as you always have.
Yep.
So then to see, I've noticed a lot of people on that support group, they post before and after pictures, and that's how they can see the difference. And I didn't notice how much of a difference until I look at pictures from 2 years ago. It's like, whoa, there is a difference. So.
Yeah. Even though it can be really hard, pictures and even like video, like progress videos. Yeah. Like, you know, you will want to have them so that you can have pride in your journey and how hard you worked. And they're always super painful to take because you're right. You never see your progress in the mirror.
No.
But then when you have an opportunity to have a few to compare, you know, like it does make a really big difference. And then when you start to see it, then it fuels your drive even more because you're like, this is working. I can see it now. I can feel it. But, you know, so I do encourage people to take progress pictures, take pictures, take videos, you know, your turn, do all the sides, because you also hold a lot of fat like in your backside. And when you're looking forward in the mirror all the time, you're like, I don't see it. It's not changing. I mean, the scale may be, but I mean, it's gone.
My mom was saying, what's the number one area that you've noticed? And I was like, I don't know. My arms feel thinner and, you know, certain things feel, she's like, your butt is so much smaller. It is. I don't look at that.
Exactly.
I guess, so.
Yeah. So it's like whole half of you don't see in the mirror. And like that gets underestimated how much progress, like, because your body fat, like it's gone from everywhere. Yeah. Right. And so it just, usually the places you're hyper focusing on the most are probably the ones that actually had the most amount of fat. Right. Yeah. Which that means it's going to take the longest for it to leave there. So focus on the small wins. Yep. But yeah, pictures and videos do kind of help.
A lot of the non-scale victories is what they talk about in the groups. And
did you do measurements?
I did. I didn't do them before, like I started on my own. But once I started the GLP-1 meds, they do measurements there.
Okay. I just always think that's an interesting way. I actually just took my measurements for the first time. I should have done it 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
But I didn't. But I did do, since I just started the carnivore diet, I did do measurements and I did before pictures.
Real pictures.
I wish I would have.
I know, and that's why I did
naked pictures. Like I have pictures of myself, and I used to just get mad if people would take a picture of me because I don't want to see that. But now I wish
you had nudes.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Even just like a sports bra and a top, you know, and like shorts, sometimes or whatever, good enough. Yeah, or underwear.
I think it is a hard thing to do, but I think it's something that you will look back and be glad.
Yes, I wish I would have then.
Because there's been several times, even on my journey, that I'm like, I could look back at, you know, candid pictures or even selfies or whatever, and be like, it's not the same. And I wish I had something more.
And all my pictures, I have full makeup and everything on, so I look better than I would have on a normal day-to-day basis. But
yeah. I love it.
All right.
And thank you for sharing your story
so
with us so far.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on. And let's plan on having you come back.
Yeah, we have a follow-up.
Yeah.
So until next time.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to head over to our Instagram at Nacho Fitness Coach and let us know how you feel about the topic. Do you love it or hate it?
Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe or follow button wherever you're listening. And if you like our podcast, leave us a rating. See you next time.
You've been listening to Euphony Innovatives Sonified.